Hey there everybody, my name is Tom of MTG Radio, and today is a pretty good day, because today I'm going to record a video for you. My niece is over, she'll be over for the rest of the week, so I can't really stream as much this week, because I don't know how people with kids do it, but it's hard to find time when you have to take care of a 10-year-old. I'm playing some Aurelia the Warleader this game, and we are going to mulligan this hand because it has one land. We're going to be going aggressive. This deck has always been called one of our more aggressive decks. We're going to keep this hand. It's pretty sketchy. We definitely need to draw like 2 lands in a row, but if we draw 2 lands in a row, we can do some pretty powerful things. Our top left player, so we're playing Aurelia, sorry, don't want to skip over this part. 2 red, red, white, white for a 3/4 flying, vigilance, and haste. Now, whenever she attacks for the first time each turn, untap all creatures you control. After this phase, it'll combat phase. Our top left player is playing Marchesa the Black Rose. 1 blue, black, red for a 3/3 legendary human wizard with the Throne. Now, the Throne is a very interesting ability from the Conspiracy set that was ported through with Vintage Masters. Whenever this creature attacks the player with the most life or tied for the most life, you put a +1/+1 counter onto it. Now, other creatures you control have the Throne, and whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, return that card to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. We're going to keep our hand. Our middle player is playing Phoenix, God of Deception. Pretty appropriate for a guy named Thrill Mill. We're going to put our Sacred Foundry into play tap, so we don't have to pay 2 life, and utilize F8. As long as the lands are tapped and we can't activate abilities for 0 or less, we'll be audioing the turn. Just gonna make life better. So Phoenix, God of Deception, 3 blue, black for an indestructible, 4/7. As long as your devotion of blue and black is less than 7. Remember, Phoenix, well, he's not a creature, but still gives this pretty cool ability. Creatures you control have tap. Target player puts top X cards or library into their graveyard, where X is that creature's toughness. There's a very specific card we're watching from this deck. That card is Eater of the Dead. Eater of the Dead allows this deck to go off, quote unquote. Eater of the Dead basically reads you can exile a creature from an opponent's graveyard to untap this creature. And then with the Phoenix ability, you can continually tap and untap the Eater of the Dead to eat everyone's graveyard. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty powerful combination of cards. We have a turn 1 Alter the Brood, 1 mana artifact. A lot of people didn't notice this when it first came out, but this little guy, whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent, not player, each opponent, puts the top cards of the library into the graveyard. Our top right player is playing Jorkadine the Prevailer. 3 red, white for first striking 5/4 with Metalcraft. Creatures you control get +3/+0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. Our top left player lays a Nurok Stealth Suit. 2 mana for an artifact equipment. This is the Marchesa player. Equipped creature has Shroud, and for double blue, attach this to target creature you control. Our opponent mills away our Hellkite Charger. We could not be happier. Mold Drifter goes away for our Marchesa deck, and an Everflowing Chalice gets binned for the Jorkadine deck. Jorkadine's actually a pretty cool general when it comes to red-white. The +3/+0 he gives is very strong, and it is to each creature he controls. This is usually not really... I've seen many different builds of Jorkadine. The most common build I've seen is an equipment-based deck, where you utilize the equipment synergizing cards in white to be able to get an easy Metalcraft with equipment, and then just use Jorkadine to hit people in the face. It's fun that way. We draw Boros Cluestone, which I did not know was in this deck, but I am happy it is. I haven't played this deck in a little bit. I just kind of wanted to go fast. I don't know. I like Aurelia. I've always liked Aurelia, and I feel like today is the day to try her out. Boros Cluestone, 3 mana for an artifact, taps, add red or white to your mana pool, and for red-white, tap, sacrifices, draw a card. Now, this is the first time you've seen one of my videos. You might be thinking, hey, why does this guy keep tapping out? Although, wait a sec. Feast on the Fallen. 2 and a black for an enchantment. At the beginning of each upkeep, if an opponent lost life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Pretty good with Marchesa, because whenever a creature she controls with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, return that card to the battlefield near your control at the beginning of the next end step. Pretty smart. Anyways, I haven't played this deck in a while. I really just kind of wanted to play this. I love Aurelia. When she first came out in Gatecrash. Gatecrash? Gatecrash. When she first came out in Gatecrash, I was really excited, because it's the kind of deck I like to play. One of the things I find in EDH is that not enough people put pressure on their opponents. Putting pressure on opponents to be able to end the game constructively, I think, is very strong. It makes so you're less weak to combo decks, and it makes I feel the game's a bit more fun when your opponents have to react to what you're doing, and when you get to be on the more aggressive side, just a bit cool to me. That is a turn 2 Immolating Soul Eater. Wow. Immolating Soul Eater is a 2 mana 1/1, and for Phyrexia red mana, you can get +1/+0 until end of turn. It just got some haste and hexproof, and it's going to start hitting somebody. Alter the Brood did mill our Secure the Waste. It got in a Swamp from our Marchesa deck, and a Night of Glory from our red-white Jorkadine deck. So this is probably going to be a very aggressive Jorkadine deck. If we see a card like Knight of Glory in this build, it's going to be aggressive. And nothing wrong with being aggressive. Our turn 4, if we don't draw a land, is definitely going to be Ogre Battle Driver. If we do draw a land, it's probably going to be Herald of War. I like Herald of War. It's not the greatest card ever, but it does very well with multiple attacks. It's from Aurelia. We did not draw an extra land, so we are just going to play an Ogre Battle Driver. But Herald of War, a card in our hand, is a rare from Avacyn Restored. It's a flying 3/3. Whenever this attacks, put a +1/+1 counter onto it. Angel spells and human spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter on Herald of War. Not only does it get bigger using Aurelia, but it makes Aurelia cheaper. And it can make our other humans in our hand cheaper as well. We have some decent removal in hand. Path to Exile and Oblivion Ring, just universal removal. Pretty fun. Immolating Soul Eater is a pretty cool guy. I don't know how our opponent plans to play Immolating Soul Eater, but if you give Immolating Soul Eater Double Strike, you can kill people, like, immediately. It's scary. Bloodflow Connoisseur coming down for our Marchesa deck. 2 and a black for a 1/1 that can sacrifice a creature to put a +1/+1 counter onto it. This is another Avacyn Restored card coming onto the battlefield. Avacyn Restored was just filled with good cards. People forget that, but they're pretty great. Nurok Stealth Suit going to give that Bloodflow Connoisseur Shroud. Shroud, not hexproof, Shroud. This is a Mirrodin card. There's no hexproof yet. The cool part about these equipment from Mirrodin is, especially stuff like Nurok Stealth Suit, or I believe Healer's Headdress is another example of this, was that they had a double blue activated cost to attach the equipment to something. Now, because this isn't an action, because although it is an equip cost, it's an activated ability that can be done at instant speed, so you can shift this Stealth Suit around at instant speed, which is pretty cool. Gaius Honor Monk is milled to our graveyard. Our top left player loses a mountain. Our Marchesa player loses a mountain. And our Jorkadine player loses a Buried Ruin. Deep Analysis cast targeting the Phoenix player, so we can draw 2 cards. Pretty simple. Flashback can be pretty useful, especially if our player goes for a Phoenix deck that's built more to mill itself than its opponents. Which those decks do exist. I'm not going to vouch for how strong they are, but they do exist. There's a non-zero chance next turn we just Oblivion Ring our opponent's Nurok Stealth Suit. But we could just, like, dash out a Flame Rush Rider and just have extra fun, which could be fun too. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We could put 2 Ogre Battle Drivers on the battlefield, and the other Ogre Battle Driver would get +2/+0. Oh, damn! Again, if we draw a land, we're playing Herald of War immediately. That's our goal. Our Jorkadine deck finally has access to red. He's going to play an Inquisitor's Flail. Oh, baby. Alright, here we go. Inquisitor's Flail. 2 mana equipment. If a equipped creature would deal combat damage, it deals double that damage instead. If another creature would deal combat damage to a equipped creature, it deals double that damage instead. So, on an Immolating Soul Eater, now for 2 life, he gets to deal 2 damage. So, he could kill our blue-black player right now, and then we'd kill him, and this would be the quickest game you've ever seen. If he does attack us, we will block with Ogre Battle Driver. I don't want to lose like 10 life this turn. It's not worth it. We're going to lose Battle Driver, and that's sad, but... You know, let's think about it a bit more. How much damage is this guy really going to try and deal to us? Right now, this is 2. If he could pay 10 life to put us to 20, right? That's how this works. -10 +5 +0. No, you can pay 10 to deal us 10. You know what? Whatever. No blocks. Bring it on. We can kill each other. So every 2 life he pays, I take 2 damage. I can play this game. It's a dangerous game. It's a very dangerous game. Our opponent now realizing, maybe I don't know how far I want to go with this Soul Eater here. I know he can't give it Infect at instant speed, so I'm not too worried here. He could have also, like, he couldn't Apostle Blessing. He's only got white-red available. Alright. Oh. Our middle player has to go answer the door. One of the funnier parts about MTGO is that you're still dealing with real people, so... Man, this card was decent in draft. It wasn't great. New Phyrexia draft was fun, though. If you never got a chance to draft New Phyrexia, I would suggest it. Mainly because, like, a lot of the cards in that set are worth a lot of money nowadays. But it was a blast. I had a bunch of fun with New Phyrexia draft. I would draft New Phyrexia again in a heartbeat. Although Triple Scars was pretty fun, too. You could do a really cool infect deck, as well as just big green monsters, which was a blast. Green black monsters. Oh, green red monster. Green red dinosaurs, I think was the name of the deck. It was so much fun. We draw Precinct Captain, which is what we're going to cast here. And then we're just going to leave it Path to Exile. Precinct Captain, white for a 2/2 with first strike. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, I get to put a 1/1 white soldier onto the battlefield. Ogre Battle Driver is going to give our Precinct Captain +2/+2 and +2/+0 in haste. So now we get to have a 1/1 back after our attacks. We're going to send 3 damage at Tiago and 4 damage at the Monster Masher. Now we'll also have a Path to Exile. I'm going to leave up my mana. Again, usually I do try to F8 as much as possible. But with a Path to Exile in hand, I do want to leave this up. It's also very possible we just like block with our Soldier and Path. I need mana desperately. And the quicker I can put out this Herald of War attack off of the Ogre Battle Driver, the quicker we can win this game. Also, our next turn, if we get to Path and then draw a land with Aurelia, is incredibly strong. And something I would love to get to. If our middle Phoenix player just untaps and casts a Damnation type effect, I will 100% Path my Soldier. I think it's correct. We are not at the highest life, which is also why we didn't attack the Thrill Mill here. If we had attacked Thrill Mill, we would have... The dethroned Bloodflow Connoisseur would have 100% gone our way. But because we left this player at 39 and we're still at 38, we are not going to be attacked due to dethrone. So we played around that a little bit more. And he's going to deal the 2 damage over here. He's now going to have a 2/2 Bloodflow Connoisseur and go from there. Now I am going to really quickly reread the Marchesa text. Remember, whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, return that card to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. With this Feast of the Fallen, whenever at the beginning of each upkeep an opponent lost life last turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So he'll be able to put a +1/+1 counter onto Marchesa, unless he moves over the Stealth Suit, then he won't be able to, which is kind of funny. Which he might just be incentivized to do because he has one man who has the Stealth Suit. This is an interesting choice for him. Let's see what he makes. He decides to leave open the Marchesa so he can give it to Throne. And I'm still going to leave it the Path. I know Marchesa is very strong. And leaving her on the battlefield unopposed is dangerous. But I think we could take a deep breath and wait a little bit. I want to Path something that could kill me. Not Path something that could extend the game. Or I want to Path my creature so I can get a land. We're at that part of the game already. Hedron Crab. Welcome, little dude. Love me a Hedron Crab. This guy is so much fun. Single blue mana for an 0/2. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, target player puts it out 3 cards of their library into the graveyard. We mill a Plains. Our Marchesa player mills a General's Kabuto. Ooh. And our red-white player mills a Sharpened Pitchfork. So our red-white, our Jorkadine deck, 100% going for a more equipment-themed build. Especially seeing Sharpened Pitchfork in here. Loses a Caravan Escort, so he is going small dudes that attack hard. We lose a Hammer Perforos. King Makar the Gold Curse comes down for a Phoenix deck. The Hedron Crab milled a Diluvian Primordial, a Cabal Coffers, and a Blade of the Blood Chief. We lose our Mirror Angel and a Mountain. And our top right player loses a Flare Husk. So yeah, he is going small dudes that attack quickly. It's pretty evident. The King Makar is very interesting. With a Phoenix deck, you have multiple untap effects. So for King Makar, who's a 4-mana 2/3, with Inspired, whenever he becomes untapped, you may exile target creature. If you do, you put a colorless artifact token named Gold onto the battlefield. It has sacrifice this artifact. I want mana of any color to your mana pool. So with the different untap effects in Phoenix, you're able to just untap him a bunch of times and just exile a bunch of important creatures from your opponent's battlefields, which is impactful to say the least. I wouldn't expect to see Jorkadine come down here, but giving this guy +3/+0 makes him a must block. He'd probably attack the blue-black player, but we'll see where he goes. There's a lot of different choices. Life totals are still pretty healthy. We've been missing a little bit on lands, so once we get some lands going, we get the blood pumping, we're able to start hitting our opponents quickly. This deck does play 39 lands, as opposed to my usual 38. I really don't advise going under 38, but if you notice, we even have a bunch of mana rocks in this deck, so we can hopefully go a bit quicker. Alright, Jorkadine does come down. Call me a liar. I'm going to give this Immolating Soul Eater +3/+0. It's going to be a 4/1 that hits for 8. Which is scary. That's pretty scary. Right now we are at the highest life, so any dethrone hits will be going at our face. This is also why I'm glad we have a soldier on blocks, so that if we get attacked with a 1/1, we also block with a 1/1, and then we don't care. It also takes away the +3/+0 for our first strike in Jorkadine the Prevailer. I think we're going to just leave this path in hand. No matter how much I would like to be able to get that extra land in play, just to be able to, again, play a card like Herald of War. Or hell, if we draw a land off the top, play a card like Sun Titan. Oh god, playing Sun Titan is so much value, though. I'm not sure. Especially with the haste from Ogre Battle Driver. I think we have to is the wrong word, but I really want to. I'm definitely going to be pathing this soldier unless it blocks. If the soldier blocks, I'm not pathing my Precinct Captain. And I do want to kill the Soul Eater. So let's see where the Soul Eater goes first, and then decide from there. These are the original 3 lands we've drawn at the beginning of the game. I just realized that. Alright, where are you going, Soul Eater? I will block with my 1/1. Let's go, baby. It's got haste. It's got hexproof. It's a 4/1 that deals double the damage. Are you going to take a bite out of King Makar? Are you going to stay back? Where are you going, Soul Eater? We thank the Soul Eaters for melting the sinful that we may be reminded of our own insignificance. Ooh. Alright, the 4/1 is going at the blue-black deck. I think this is the best attack. You at least get the trade for King Makar if he blocks. If not, you put this player to 29, which is what's going to happen. 29. And then we are going to path our soldier here. Whoops, that's red. This is white. We just desperately need that land. I can't risk not getting an untapped land here. And the option of getting an untapped land to be able to cast Sun Titan and or Aurelia next turn is too beautiful to ignore. So I just need to get the land with this path. We will grab... We have 3 white sources. Let's get 3 red sources. And we'll see where this goes from here. At the very least, we can cast Herald of War. At the most, we could cast Flamewish Rider and make like an extra copy of Precinct Captain. That would be a 4/2 with first strike, which could be pretty fun. We have a lot of options here, but I really just hope we draw an untapped land. Feast of the Fallen going to make this Marchesa into a 5/5 during his turn. We could also play Conqueror's Pledge to put 6 3/1s into play and attack someone's face for way too much damage. We draw Sultari Gorillas instead. This card's pretty cool. It's a shadowy 3/2. The next time this would deal combat damage to an opponent this turn, it deals that damage to target creature instead. So you can use this as a removal effect. So right now we could like play Sultari Gorillas, attack, prevent the 5 damage, deal 3 like King Makar, or deal 5 to Marchesa, which could be really fun. But I still think this is actually a very interesting choice. We could play Conqueror's Pledge as a sort of blocking army against Jorkadine and Souls and Marchesas. Again, we are going to take that to Throne. They are going to be attacked with the Throne next turn. We could also play that Herald of War, make it into a 6/4 with flying, hit someone in the face, make our humans and angels cost a lot less, and then on the following turn, maybe even like dash out the Flame Rush Rider as for 3 mana, and then like play Aurelia and do some fun stuff from there. We have a lot of different options. It just depends on which one is best. We could also just play Flame Rush Rider as a 5-drop, as a 3/3, and attack with it. Make a copy of the Precinct Captain as a 4/2 with first strike. Send that at the Jorkadine player. Get an extra... The mind's working. This is a very weird... We have a lot of different options this turn. I'm not sure which one is correct. So my play is to set up for our next turn. I want to get this Aurelia down next turn if possible. So I'm going to play this Herald of War. This one leaves us the most defenseless, because we're just going to be attacked by these 2 creatures. But I think I just really value this decrease of cost on humans and on angels, especially when we have both a human and an angel in hand, and we get to attack someone for 6 in the air. which I think is also important. It's always important to attack for 6. Send this at Tiago. We're going to leave the 2/2 First Striker back for Immolating Soul Eater. We are going to send the Ogre Battle Driver at the player who can't block it profitably. Alright. And now our humans and Aurelia and angels cost 1 less to cast, which is great. Man, if we put 2 Heroes of War into play... Oh, we don't get the attacking trigger, though. That's a problem. Tapped and attacking. They don't get to attack. Very weird how that wording works, but that's sadly how that wording works. We're taking at least 6 from Marchesa here. Because we are at 38, so we would take the dethroned damage. And we hit him for 6 in the air, so... That's how that works. We're probably taking, on the board, at least 8 damage here. But that's not guaranteed. But yeah, at least 8. The worst thing that could happen for us would be a Wrath effect right now. I would hate a Wrath effect. Alright, Stealth Suit going on to Marchesa. The reason why I would hate a Wrath effect is, number 1, we probably can't cast Aurelia, number 2, next turn. But number 2, we just lose haste. This Ogre Battle Driver has been making our deck seem so much better than it is for the entire game. Alright. Looks like we're taking 7. I'm not blocking with the Precinct Captain. If we get to cast Aurelia next turn, this guy gets really good very quickly. So, we'll just take 7. Plus, I want to be able to block this Immolating Soul Eater. This is our first little bit of commander damage. It's going to be 7 commander damage. This also puts us out of the throne range, which is nice. We are no longer on the throne. Just perfect. And he's just going to go to end step. Alright. Great. He also could have attacked us with a Bloodflow Connoisseur. I don't think he wanted to, because then he just takes 1.5 million damage from the other red-white deck, in my assumption. So. Yeah, I do just think leaving the Precinct Captain back is just better for us, too. Alright, the Mill Effect still going on our Marchesa deck, a deck that has a lot of ways to recur cards from the graveyard. Sultai Emissary going to the bin, so is a Grim Harrispec and an Expedition map off the Hedron Grab. We lose a Sunscorched Region, he loses his own Hammer Perforos. Our red-white player has lost an Elixir of Immortality. Never liked Elixir. Phoenix God Deception decides to enter the battlefield. This also makes the Inspired trigger on King Makar much better, because you don't have to attack to get the trigger. We lose Odric, which would have been a great cast next turn. Our our Marchesa player loses the Ghost Quarter, and our Dorkadine player loses his trusty Machete. So yeah, we are just low-cost red-white equipment and creatures. That's equipment and artifact creatures, even. To be very... I wonder if he's playing like Glenhawk. That'd be fun. Or probably playing Glenhawk Idol at least. So this Precinct Captain is made to block either this Immolating Soul Eater or Dorkadine if it comes at our face. And it's very possible it doesn't. Urza's Mind coming down. Interesting. We might be seeing the Urzatron out of this deck. If this game goes that far. Yeah, our next turn is good. Alright, Dorkadine going to get the equip from the Swiftfoot Boots. Now has Hexproof. If he can give this guy, like, unblockable equip the Inquisitor's Flail, that's 16. He only needs an extra 3 damage? Yeah. Can he do that? We're not dead, are we? I don't want to be dead yet. I want to keep playing this game. Please don't kill me. I don't want to be dead yet. Alright. Parceline coming down. 2 and a white. Destroy all enchantments. You gain 1 life for each enchantment destroyed this way. We avoid this. That will get rid of the Feast on the Unworthy. I think is this weird M15 card. Feast on the Fallen. Right. Alright, cool. 1 for 1 there. Double red left open so we can pump up that Immolating Soul Eater. Makes me very happy we have this. Makes me very happy we have this Precinct Captain back. So we can block that Soul Eater. Now, if I knew for a fact I was drawing a land, or if for some reason the Sun Titan was a human Titan, I'd block the Dorkadine if it was coming our way too. But I am very interested to see where Dorkadine goes. He could go at our face. That'll leave him very open to us possibly even killing him next turn. Ooh, we got the Immolating Soul Eater going at our Marchesa deck. Don't really like that play, especially with the claws from the Marchesa itself. It's a free block for the Bloodflow Connoisseur. Jorkadine going at our face. That is a Precinct Captain stepping in the way of 8 damage. This deck is definitely made to be able to kill us just with an 8-4. How much damage is it if we don't die? 5 plus 6 is 11. 2 plus 11, 13, 16. So, first attack is 5, 10, 12, 15. Second attack, we get a 1-1. 18 plus 12 is 30. Plus... You have close to lethal on the next turn? Okay, cool enough. Yeah, we're just going to block the Precinct Captain. Yeah, not going to chance it. Let's just block. Just don't want to be killed by like a brute force and double strike or something stupid. Not worth it, you know? That's definitely the kind of cards this player is playing, so let's not die to it. Gosh, I hope we draw land, because we're definitely playing Sun Titan. Alright, Marchesa is going to bring back that Bloodflow Connoisseur at the end of turn. And this does put our Jorkadine down to a 5-4, because he only has 2 artifacts in play. Is that it? That's it. Alright, Bloodflow Connoisseur returns to the battlefield. Marchesa does counter self, for those that were unaware. Very important to remember when you're playing against a Marchesa deck. Ooh, not an untapped land. It is a Tajik, which would be a 7/7 with... Which would be a 7/7 indestructible this turn, but... because we don't have the lands, I think we will just... We could cast a Flame Rush Rider. If we dash out Flame Rush Rider and attack... We don't get the extra down. That's the problem, is we don't get the extra decrease in price. So we just probably cast our General. Our Marchesa deck is representing Counterspell for our General, at the least. Of note, if you do get your General hindered, it does go to the bottom of the library. The new rules change has not come into effect on a TGO yet. This now costs 3. We could play like Tajik and Flame Rush Rider this turn? No, just 1. We could also just play Conqueror's Pledge. Put 6 1/1s into play, not take damage for a long time. I think that's just a little bit better. That's what I'm going to do. Post-combat. Because they're going to be blockers. Not all of them are going to be blockers. Pre-combat. Yeah. We're going to leave back 3 of them. Play Conqueror's Pledge. I would like to get 6 1/1s into play. Do you have a counterspell? This is me looking at the Marchesa player who has open 5 mana. He does not have a counterspell. Do you have a Swan Song? You don't even have a Swamp Song? Give me 6 1/1s, please. I like 6 1/1 soldiers. That would be advantageous. Ogre Battle Driver triggers. I love Ogre Battle Driver. We're going to press F7 to layer like triggers. Now we have 6 3/1s with haste. We are definitely attacking with 3 of them. Send Herald of War at Tiago. Thrill Mill. Monster. Ogre Battle Driver can also attack Thrill Mill here. We're probably going to be losing our Battle Driver to King Makar triggers. Let's get our use of them as we can. We're going to leave back our 3/1/1s. 1 to block Marchesa, 1 to block Phoenix, 1 to block Jorkadine. We also have now a 5/5 Herald of War, which is reducing the cost of all humans and angels by 2. Alright. Worked out well. I'm glad the Conqueror's Pledge resolved. That's awesome. That is actually great. I also wish, just me here, we could definitely draw some of those lands in this deck. All the lands we've had in play were from our opening hand, or that we had to get out with a Path to Exile used on our own soldier. If we had a couple extra lands in play, if we had an extra better land base, playing Sun Titan there would have gotten us back a copy of Precinct Captain, would have attacked, gotten us back a Plains anyways, and then we could have done a lot of really fun things from there. Although it would have been exiled, we would have gotten both a hammer, which would mean that if our Ogre Battle Driver got exiled, we wouldn't be screwed. So, if Battle Driver goes away, our game plan slows down to a glacial pace. We really will have to work from there. And I'm fine getting nitty gritty, working it out, figuring out how to win this game, but I'd rather just, you know, win. Looks like our red-white player disconnected. Hopefully he comes back. We'll see if he comes back. Yeah, our blue-black player from the chat really is scared of Marchesa. Probably just has gotten a little bit annihilated by her, from some other games. While we're waiting for a red-white player to return, which I hope he does return. If not, we will just have to boot him out because I like this game and I think we can win. We can talk a little bit about how these decks will probably play out, or how I expected them to play out. Like if us four ended up at a kitchen table before this game started, I'd be very concerned about the Jorkadine deck. This deck can go fast and can go quick. Again, the reason we blocked that turn is because it was very possible for him to just give this guy double strike and kill us for Resident 4. Like, although we lost our Precinct Captain is a great card down the battlefield, especially with a double attack step commander like Aurelia. Not blocking that 8/4 would have just been the easiest way for us just to randomly lose the game. And I just don't like randomly losing the game. I'd rather be safe. And especially after we did the math and we realized we really couldn't kill him from that other attack, I think it's correct to get him there. Our middle player playing Phoenix. I'm not a very big fan of Millen Commander at all, actually. Your opponents, first of all, start with a 99 card deck when they enter the game, when they put it down, you know, when they set it down on the battlefield. Like, that's not an advantage. And then you're also trying to mill out 3 different players, which is also incredibly difficult. So, looks like our red-white player has returned. Welcome back. And the damage is dealt. We are not the only dethroned target anymore. He could also attack our other red-white player, which is great for us because we got blockers and he might not attack us. Yeah, I'm not a very big fan of Mill and EDH. I just don't like it. Even in 1v1, like standard or modern or just casual, it's hard enough to mill out your friends when they're playing 60 card decks. Add another 39 cards to that deck. See how it works. Although you have access to a larger card pool, I just don't really find it being that successful. The Bloodful Connoisseur, the only attack on a red-white deck here. Very interesting. King Makar, I mean, if I'm the King Makar player, I'm exiling my Ogre Battle Driver. He could, if he's very scared about Aurelia, exile our Herald of War. I can see either one going, but we'll see what happens. Now, the thing with mill is that there are some combinations of cards that can lead to infinite mill situations. One of them is Future Sight, Helm of Awakening, and Sensei's Divining Top, which lets you play Sensei's Top for free off the top of the library, put it back on top. With an Altar of the Brood out, you get infinite triggers of that, and you can mill everybody out. That's something we have to keep our eye on. He could do it next turn, even, if he got that lucky, really. He'd have to have Helm of Awakening, which decreases all the costs of all cards by 1, and go from there. So, yep, he does exile the Ogre Battle Driver. That is correct. You saw how much giving our creatures haste was for us. Insane. Actually insane. He even gets the gold token, which he can now sacrifice at 1 mana of any color to his mana pool. But yeah, Helm of Awakening decreases all casting costs of all spells by 1. So with Future Sight, you can play the top card of your library, and with Sensitive Divining top, you can put it on top to draw a card. Basically, what you do is you top on top, then you top, and you constantly put top into play using Alter the Brood, and you eventually just mill everybody out. I believe it's actually a legacy deck, but I don't know if it's a good legacy deck. It is a legacy deck, but I'm not sure if it's good. We lose a Plateau and an Instigator Gang. Love me an Instigator Gang. This is one of my favorite cards. Ooh, Masker Room would be annihilating. Runescar Demon also pretty scary, actually. Runescar Demon is a 7-mana 6/6 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a specific card and put that card into your hand. Then, shuffle. Always do that part. Phoenix is activated. Makes me happy I left back these 3 soldiers because now we can block Phoenix. It is a 4/7. We don't need to take that damage if we don't want to. The good news is our Angels and Warriors cost 2 less. Now, does this work? Can I get infinite attacks? This attacks, put a token on the battlefield, tapped and attacking. That's a copy of another target attacking creature. Then, yeah. I think we can get infinite attack steps here. I think. Don't quote me on it. I'm going to try. I'm not sure if it works. Here's hoping. We don't get attacked. So with Flame Rush Rider, we can dash it for 2 red. But whenever it's attacked, you put a token onto the battlefield, tap and attacking. That's a copy of another target attacking creature. Exile token at the end of combat. Oh, for the first time, yeah. Tapped and attacking. It should work. Because it's a new Aurelia coming into play. I should be able to get infinite attacks, I believe. Our opponent Chandra's Furies us. Deals 4 to us and 1 damage each creature we control. The monster. Also, who the hell plays this card? But he got our soldiers. It's an instant. Man, I remember this card. This card was fun. An M13 limited. This card was a blast. So you cost 4. We need a land. If we get a land, do we just win? I think we can dash this with a decreased cost. So we yeah, with dash we have haste. Yeah, if we draw an untapped land, we win. It's been like that for a while. If we draw an untapped land, we can actually do things. I've been waiting to do that for a long time. We've kept our 3 original lands from the beginning of the game and had to path for 1. So let's see if we get lucky. Untapped land off the top. I think that works. It works in my head. Let's see if it works with MTGO. Oh, we got more. Inquisitor's Flail onto the Jorkadine. It's going to deal us 10 damage to Jorkadine. Pretty sure that puts him at dead. But he could go for it. Within his rights as a player. Nope, does not go for it. Alright. Come on, land off the top. The other problem is we lose our Flame Rush Rider. Because we don't have a free attack. We actually wanted the Jorkadine player to attack us. Alright. We draw a land. Yeah, that's a really big problem, actually. Let me make sure the dash cost is even reduced. Dash cost is reduced. Yeah, red. We'd be out. We could win. That's really funny. But our Jorkadine does. Our Flame Rush Rider doesn't have a safe place to attack into, so it would just die. Man, that Jorkadine. If that Jorkadine attacked us, we could have killed some people on this battlefield. Instead, I think we're just relegated to playing Sun Titan, bringing back our Hammer Perforos, attacking the Sun Titan. Which is fine. We get back Hammer Perforos, we get back an extra land. We have a 6/6 Herald of War. Yeah, that should work. Alright, Sun Titan it is. Try and do that next turn instead. Hey there, Sun Titan. I missed you, baby. Definitely going to get Hammer to give it haste. Right, Hammer to give him haste, and then we can attack our top right player He probably blocked. Yeah, he definitely blocks Jorkadine. That's a 10-4 first strike. We could attack this player. He just blocked with probably Phoenix plus the King plus... Probably just blocks the Phoenix. Maybe gives us the free attack. He can't... This is very interesting, actually. I think we get Hammer. Yes. The next question is, who do we attack? Get Hammer to give our creatures haste. Do we even attack with the Herald of War? It's a real question. We might just need it back as a blocker. Good news is we're not in the threat anymore. It's nice. Welcome back, Hammer Perforos. I think we will attack this player. If he blocks at the Runescarred Demon, then... whatever. But we are going to leave back our Herald of War. No matter what, we get to get back this plateau. Hey, look, more lands. See? We got to jury-rig our lands out of our graveyards. Thank you, Alter the Brood. I missed you. If I'm the player that just played Runescarred Demon, what's one of the best cards I could get here? For me, it's the Sepulchral Primordial. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the card he pulled out of his deck. Sepulchral Primordial can just do a lot of things with that type of build, especially with the constant mill that he's done. I have some great cards to pull out of my graveyard, so does our top right and our top left player. And if you pulled out Sepulchral Primordial, I think you block with Sun Titan here. Just going to block with Phoenix. Fair and balanced. I get to keep my Sun Titan, you get to keep your Phoenix. You can exile my Sun Titan next turn, but stays on the battlefield to block for our next turn. Great. I'll take it. This is getting close. 27's low. 27's really low. Alright, we are not on the throne, but there is a 10-4 with first strike on the battlefield, so... Take that for what you will. Alright, he's just going to get the extra 3 lands off the Burnish Tart here. He's going to attack the Jorkadine player, put the +1 counter onto the Burnish Tart, sacrifice the Burnish Tart, get 2 lands into play. Heck, I would be okay with the Wrath effect here. Be really okay with the Wrath effect here. We have Hammer now. We have some great cards in hand, especially with haste. We got 7 mana. We can even just go like Oblivion Ring and the Soltari Gorillas, kill something else. It's a quality play. We got a lot of options. A lot of options. He just takes the damage too? Well, that's free. Nice. Pretty lucky there, Marchesa player. I would have blocked. Just going to sacrifice the Burnished Heart. Going to bring it back during the end step. The other cool part about the Marchesa deck is because of the delayed trigger from the return off of Marchesa, you have a nice little open window after sacrificing your creatures to Wrath if you need a Wrath. Really makes those recursive abilities on a card like Marchesa much better. So always keep that kind of stuff in mind when looking at recursive abilities, and especially flickering abilities when they come into play. I've seen a lot of people mess up the flicker abilities on certain cards like Brago, where some come into play at the end of turn, like Rune, or some come into play right then, like Brago, and that really does matter. In the long run of the game, it really does. Alright, our middle player going straight for our Marchesa deck. I've still said this doesn't seem like a good idea, but increasing ambition goes to the graveyard, Chaos Warp, Pyreheart Wolves, Goblin Bombardment, Conquering Manticores, and Mark of Mutinies. Dax Duplicate. I love Dax Duplicate. It's a Gitu Encampment and a Threaten. So this deck, under your control? Under your control. Oh, alright. It's got AVR wording. Nice. Okay. So what I mean by AVR wording is Avacyn Restored wording. So blinking usually says under its owner's control, not under your control. Until Avacyn Restored, when cards like Restoration Angel with Flicker abilities started saying under your control. Very, very, very important distinction. Now, what made this really crazy was that when you stole a creature, then when you bling something with a card like Conjurer's Closet or Restoration Angel, you got to keep that creature. Same with, we will have our Sun Titan get exiled. Same with Deadeye Navigator. I didn't realize this until, well, right now, that Marchesa has that same exact wording. Because that creature dies, return that creature onto the battlefield under your, at the beginning, return that card to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of its end step. Because of that, which is very cool, when you threaten a creature and it dies after having a +1/+1 counter placed on it, you get to keep that creature for the rest of the game, even though the threatened effect will end at the end of turn. Very, very, very cool. Aw, our frontline medic. This guy likes to give our creatures indestructible. Darn it. Still have our Herald of War. We still don't have a free lane to attack through for our Aurelia Flameless Rider combo to just annihilate somebody. Alright. Hedron Crab doing work, so is Alter the Brood. Wouldn't be surprised to see a card like Umbral Mantle be the card you search for as well, so we can start tapping and untapping this kind of card at will. Just be able to exile everything, basically. And mill stuff. And just make him bigger. It's pretty scary. With King Bakar, it actually only costs 2 to untap, which is really cool. So we'll see if we're dead. It's possible that someone gets comboed out. It's also possible someone just gets left open, us, and dies to a Jorkadine. We don't have anything in our deck to really prevent ourselves from milling out. No Blightsteel Colossuses or Legendary Eldrazi's to get us out of this kind of situation. So if he gets to combo mill us, then he combo mills us. But that's what I would have searched for with a Runescarred Demon. Heck, even a Turnabout's not that bad. Alright. Reveal to us what you found, Phoenix. Okay, it's deep analysis for 2 first. Okay. First things first, deep analysis for 2. Gotcha. No cards in his graveyard. What you got, Phoenix? What did you find? Staff of Domination, maybe? Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Is this going to be Eater of the Dead? So you can combo everybody out next turn? Give me a Wrath effect? What are you putting on the board? Oh, hey. I meant that as a reference to numbers on the board, not... Animate Dead, he says. What are you targeting with that Animate Dead? Targeting Diluvian Primordial. Okay, okay. I have a Path in my graveyard. That's it. Our top left player has a Threaten, Mark of Mutiny, Chaos Warp. That's about it. And our top right player has... So it's Paraceline in here. Chandra's Fury. That's it. Alright. Well, come into play, Diluvian Primordial. 2 triggers of Alter the Brood also go onto the stack from Animate Dead coming into play and from Diluvian Primordial coming into play. I feel like we're not going to have Herald of War in play anymore. Just think we won't have it. We could die. That's definitely an option. Oh, Conqueror's Pledge is a must better cast from our graveyard. That's right. Alright. Targeting Conqueror's Pledge, Increasing Ambition, and Chandra's Fury. Okay. Well, that works too. 6/1/1 seem pretty valuable. Chandra's Fury targeting the top left player here to put him down to 22. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. I mean, is that it? Is that all we're doing? Was that our search for Diluvian Primordial off the Runescarred Demon? I like being alive. It's one of my favorite things. Are we copying it? Alright. Chandra's Fury resolves. Did he not? Oh, this can happen. So when it comes to MTGO, you have to kind of realize how cards work. when you play a card like Delirium Primordial, you have to cast each spell before you resolve them. So we actually only resolved the Chandra's Fury here. He didn't even get to resolve the Conqueror's Pledge in my graveyard, or the Increasing Ambition from our top left player's graveyard. It's a really hurtful misplay there. It really hurts. He could have got really close to winning there. Now he just cast Chandra's Fury in a 4/5. Those two things are much different from each other. Much, much, much different. No attacks again. It just passes. Alright. Gonna keep squeaking this out. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts when that happens. It does say it on the card. Most of the time, this is where like someone would rail on MTGO, like, MTGO, why don't you tell people how to use the cards? It does really say on the card, like, cast all the spells, and you go in the graveyards and you cast all the spells. But he cast the spell from the red player's graveyard and then went to hit OK, and then thought he could cast the other two spells. But you have to put them all onto the stack as you want them, then resolve them in consecutive order as you cast them from the graveyards, first and last out. So definitely messed it up there. He missed the two best cards in there. So that Delirium Primordial came into play and dealt 4 damage to someone's face. Which is, I mean, better than some Delirium Primordials I've seen, but definitely not what he was going for. Life totals are low. We are sitting on the throne at 27. Our Marchesa player is at 22. Our Jorkadim player is at 26. Our blue-black Phoenix player is at 17. 17. This is gonna get close. I'd be totally okay with the Wrath effect. Spiraling Duelist, you say? Okay. Has double strike as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. He could give it twice the damage in haste here, but his best last card in his hand is probably Lightning Greaves to give this guy haste. No, what's a 1 mana artifact that would blow this game out of the water? Basilisk Collar would be insane. Basilisk Collar into Jorkadim attack, gain 16 life. That would be the best draw. If he just went Basilisk Collar. But we would take all 10 damage from this Jorkadim right now. If he attacked us, we would. Like 100%. Like every single time. Next turn. I'm feeling if we draw a land like dash, play, make a copy of Soltari Gorilla's attacking, kill the King Makar, deal 3 damage to this player, attack Tajik at our top left player. Nah, leave Tajik back, actually. Tajik stays back. Yep, we take all 10. Alright, you shouldn't be able to kill me with 3 mana. Shouldn't. This is 10, 16, plus 2 is 18. He's going to be able to mill this player down to 20 before the end of his turn, plus 3 to 17. So he's going to get very close to being able to mill out the top left player. And no blocks. You got me. Right, 17. Come on, untap land. Huh. 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 You don't say. Okay. So we can cast this and play Flameless Rider, attack with a 2 Nobles of War and a Flameless Rider with dash. So that would give all of our attacking creatures +4/+0. These would be 7 4s in the air. That's 14. We could put lethal on our top right player. Then we die on the backswing to our top left player, so that doesn't seem good. Does not seem good. We could also go 4, and then just play Tajik at normal. Just play the Aurelia to play the Aurelia. Get in 2 swings, and then cast Flameless Rider as a 3/3. I think that's also fine. Cast our commander. Go to attack step. Attack our top right player with both. Teach him a lesson. Also known as, why are you attacking me? This isn't cool. This also makes him dead to the top right player. Sorry, to our Phoenix player just from damage. So he's at 7 now. Alright. Good, we're at 17. We are no longer on the throne. In fact, our dethroned player is on the throne. We get to play an indestructible blocker, named Tajik Blade of Legion. We get to cast a Flameless Rider for a single red mana. And we get to pass. And our next turn is great. If we get to our next turn is great. If the board gets Wrath, we have Tajik on the battlefield still, which is also fantastic. So we kind of want the board to get Wrath, funnily enough. Like, if the board goes away, we're in really good place. We have Tajik on the battlefield. We're not even close to getting milled out. Like, we are solid. Then again, if the board gets Wrath, our top right red-white player lives. So you live in, you figure out what the heck's going on. I don't know. There's... Oh, wow. Our Marteza player just straight up concedes. That... Huh? Huh? Okay. That was weird. That changes everything. So now we're getting milled out instead. And our top right player should just be dead because he has 7. We're probably going to get our King Makar exiled. That was so weird. What? I don't get rage quitting. Like, especially in a... So, let's all learn a lesson today. That lesson is don't rage quit. Don't quit out of a multiplayer game. Never, 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 never quit out of a multiplayer game unless someone has the win on board and can explain it to you and show you how they won. Until that time, don't quit. You're playing a 4-player game. If someone seems unbeatable, there are 2 other people playing with you that will help you beat the unbeatable person. Like, you're not dead. You're not done. You're not even close to dead. You have a lot of time, a lot left in the tank. So don't rage quit. It's never correct. It's never correct. It's actually never correct. Like, don't do it. It's wrong. Frankly, it's kind of stupid. Just don't. King Makar exiles our Tajik, which works. Yeah. Triggers Alter the Brew with some gold. We lose a Lightning Greaves in the graveyard. Yeah, if you feel like you have unsurmountable odds, like your opponent's playing Titania and they've just gotten too much in front of you. They're like, ha ha ha, I have won with my Titania deck. You, peasant, you've lost. You're like, well, you've got to deal with all 3 of us. And even if they've got 10 lands to your 3, you've got 9 lands between you guys. You can get there. And you should never rage quit, especially this late in the game. It does a lot of different things. Number 1, it changes everyone's plans. Everyone's attacking patterns are incorrect. Everyone's plays that they play with you expecting to play the rest of the game is wrong. It's one of the worst, one of the biggest downfalls of playing online is definitely the amount of people that just rage quit. I dislike it a lot. He didn't kill the Jorkadim player. That is surprising to me. Shadow Mage Infiltrator comes into play. Real quick. We are doing some collusion here. We're asking our top right opponent if he wants to kill the top right, the blue-black player. I doubt it. I mean, like, if I'm him, I just attack with both of our guys. We have to block on both and try not to die. But, you gotta try. The last card in his hand is Tormentor's Trident. Equip creatures plus 2/+0 and attacks each turn if able. Equip for 3. We're at 17. If we can find a way to keep Flameless Rider in play and just block with our Aurelia, we can get those infinite attack steps I was talking about last time. Yeah. So this is going to make a 9/1 Spiraling Duelist. We're at 17. That is lethal. Both of these creatures are lethal. If he attacks with both, we have to block. The good news is that Aurelia still only costs 4. Alright, we're definitely not attacking our red-white player next turn. We keep to our binding agreements. That is a requirement of being a decent person. So yeah, next turn we're definitely just going to go. He has 1 flying blocker. We're going to play Nobles of War, make a copy of it using Flamer's Rider. The problem is, he played a Spiraling Duelist, and this thing now has to attack. It's a really easy block for our Phoenix player, too. Like, he should have waited on this equip. Now we're forced to block, and now we can't do what we wanted to do. This is much worse. This is much, much worse. Well, I guess this turn we can still play Nobles of War, exile the Runescarred Demon, attack twice. That probably kills him. Probably. I think it does, actually. Not going to be as cool if we had this Flameless Rider. I am very glad we cast it, because we would just die lethal here. We've taken 10 commander damage. This is 16. That's lethal. This is 18 damage alone. That's lethal. So we have to block the Spiraling Duelist that now has to attack this turn because of Tormentor's Trident. Is he swing with both? No way. This guy can't be that insane. He is. Oh, wow. I'm glad. Whew. Collusion, baby. I'll take collusion. Red-white players stick together. There's a lot of cards that blow us out. Our opponent could just have Cyclonic Rift, and we just lose. That's actually an option. So. This will be fun. At the very least, this will be fun to see how it ends. This blocks Spiraling Duelist. The Hedron Crab blocks the Jorkadim, of course. He needed trampled desperately. Mills us for 2 more, I think. Yeah. Nothing important. We're down to 40 cards in our library. He should... Okay, if our opponent has no counter spells and no way to interact with us, he's dead. That is what's happening. If he has counter spells or a way to interact with us, we're dead. Let's see who's the victor this time on playing Commander and trying to get lucky. If we draw an untapped land, we can play both Nobles of War and Oblivion Ring. Man, all these untapped lands I keep talking about. I wish they existed. We could also play Soltari Gorillas, make 2 copies of them, deal 6 and then 12 just unblockable, which is very good. We'll see how this works. We draw an untapped land because we're that good. So now we can play Nobles of War and exile the Runescarred Demon and just go for double attacks. Which definitely kills him like 100%. In fact, I think the first attack kills him almost. Yeah. Which one's safer? I think that's the real question, right? We get to attacks. I think the first thing we do is we try and exile the Runescarred Demon. Let's cast Oblivion Ring. First things first. See if this resolves, right? Our opponent might think this is too good and might counter it. This might bait out the counterspell. Will it bait out the counterspell? No way. It does. Psychic Strike. Great. All right. So now we have a free spell to cast here because he cannot... I mean, he has 3 extra mana, but... Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. So now we play Sultari Gorillas. Swing everything at him. Make a copy of the Sultari Gorillas. Probably play the Flamers Riders this way. Just so we can get the extra copy of the Sultari Gorillas. So he takes 6, 7... And we can do it again. What happens if we play Nobles of War, right? It's a 3/4. We play it. All of our creatures get +2/+0. Make a copy of it using Flame Rush Rider. Get an extra attacks up no matter what. Attack him with everything. He blocks the Flame Rush Rider with Phoenix. He blocks our Aurelia with Runescarred Demon. He still takes more than lethal. Let's just do it the most fun way, right? Which I think is this way. Triple red and 2. Let's go. I would like to attack. Attack with all creatures at throw mill. Alright. Alright. So now we can make a copy of the Aurelia to put another Aurelia into play. But it's tapped and attacking? It's tapped and attacking. But it would get untapped by the other Aurelia. But then he could block the... Right. Give me another copy of this Nobles of War. I'm gonna stop thinking here. Just give me another copy of the Nobles of War, please. It's still going at you. Gotta stop thinking. Let's just kill this player. We never got to try the Flame Rush Rider Aurelia trick. I'm pretty sure it works. If it doesn't work, please let me know in the comments, because I don't want to screw that up in a while. Hey, we got it. These guys are double blocking our Flame Rush Rider for fun. I like it. Good old Flame Rush Rider. So we're going to honor our word. We're going to give our other red-white player another attack step if he wants it. Give him that possibility to draw a card to give this guy unblockability to kill us. I think that's fair. We don't go back on our word because we're not terrible people. You got me? We're going to have a bunch of untapped creatures, which, I mean, not as fair, but still. We're going to honor our word. Unless we die. Our opponent bounces our Herald of War. So he goes to 3, so we'll send our commander to the command zone. Never mind. We have to attack with this 3/4. Oh, shoot. This got much harder. I thought I'd have another Nobles of War to attack with here. Okay. Okay. If I attack our top left player, we lose to the Jorgadine. Do we just have to pass? We get our Noblest exiled anyways, right? So we're dead no matter what, from what I'm looking at right now. We had it! We had it! Gosh, fine, you got me. I'll honor my word. Good game. You got me. Opposing red-white player. You got me. Let's see what he drew. He drew a Stonehorn Dignitary anyways. Huh! Huh! That's really funny. He probably could have gotten this anyways. Alright. Good game. That's fun. We are nothing if not honorable. We'll take our 16 commander damage and we'll lose. Oh, well, we'll just take lethal, actually. Tormentor's Dread. That was fun. That was fun. He had... what? Cyclonic Rift. Yeah. But we only lived because we agreed with our red-white player, like, hey, give us another turn. We'll get there. Yeah, we're getting smashed in the face for damage. This is Lethal Commander. This is an extra 4. We're at -5. And we died to commander damage, right? Oh, I can't open this up. That's right. Woof! That was a good game. That was fun. I had fun. Even though one of our opponents rage quit, I still had fun. That was a blast. That was really cool. Alright, this is our deck. We actually don't have anything over 6. I'll put up the deck list in the description, as always, who tapped out. We have a nice amount of token making. We only have run Wrath, which is Martial Coup. Just because being able to play Martial Coup on 7, then recast Aurelia on 8, which is usually what happens, is just incredibly strong. You attack for 16 after wrathing the board immediately. Just very, very, very good, especially late game. Victory's Herald and True Conviction, both amazing cards in this deck. Being able to gain back that life is very good. Angelic Skirmisher also does a lot of work. Giving your guys Vigilance and then First Strike and then Lifelink is just correct. Yeah, I like this deck. I want to try out Sunscorch Regent. I've been talking about this card for a lot. I've seen another Twitch streamer, AC Owen, play this card a bunch and really get some good usage out of it. And so I want to try it out in some decks. It looks like it can be very good, especially in a multiplayer game. It'll get as big as a Tauren Mauler is supposed to be, but then you also gain life. I'm not sure if this is the type of build for it, but it could be, and I just want to try it out. Balefire Leech has always just been okay in this deck. I've definitely always... I like it because it puts Aurelia in as a 5/6, which is just good, you know? This is a fun game. We got to do some really cool things with our deck, and even though one of our opponents rage quit for no good reason, I still had fun, so whatever. I hope you guys had a blast watching. Again, the deck list will be below. You can check it out. Tell me how you would build the list differently or if I'm missing some important cards. I'm sure I am, because I built this list a while ago. The only cards I added in was Secure the Waste and Sunscorch Regent recently. That's it. So, have a good day, have a good night, and I hope to see you again. See you later.